Okay. Hello.
All right, so then you can move it around. All right. It's her first time. Okay, you can't touch that.
Oh, Tamer.
Oh, yeah. That's what she did.
Okay, well, if
Okay.
this is how I operate, I
Well,
mess up
It's her
everything
first time.
except
We
for
have to give her at least a
exosomes.
little bit of a
But listen,
break.
this I
Listen.
would do. I mess up anything except exosomes.
I know, but you're on the other side of the camera now. No, the
I
other
know.
person on the other side has to stay a little bit more quiet, I think.
I can't.
Am I in
Look at
trouble
my
already?
beautiful boy.
I can't.
Yeah.
This is my son. He's given me the hardest time. I have two sons next in front of you all here.
All right, so we're going to ask a few other questions that I think were maybe a little bit missed, and one of them was, why exosomes?
Why exosomes?
When everybody else is in the field and the business and everything, the hottest craze is MSC. Why would we go off of that pathway?
So in 2012, I was doing stromal vascular fraction and bone marrow with guys like you. And I would help them to make sure that they had the cell isolate that they were looking for. And we would treat all types of patients. I had an IRB for COPD, it was listed on the NIH website. And we would see sort of a 40 to 60% efficacy rate, but they would all relapse almost. Now, would they relapse because they snuck a cigarette or because it was really failing? That's hard for me to tell. But it still wasn't good enough. I can't take money from people for that kind of response. So then it occurred to me, I was like, well, listen, for graft-versus-host disease, if you use 14 million mesenchymal stem cells in a chronic graft-versus-host disease patient, you can suppress that GVHD.
Wow.
So I thought, okay, well, that's a starting point, 14 million. Chronic GVHD is much worse than the inflammation we're talking about. So let me shoot for a target number of 7 million MSCs. So I would take their fat, I would expand their fat in an incubator, and I would get it to 7 million cells, and I would retreat them with their own cells. And I saw a much better response rate, about 60 to 80%. But still, as I remember one COPD patient particularly, we improved his breathing 3 times, and then the 4th time it just stopped working. And I'm thinking, what is going on here? And then sometimes I'd have a 90-year-old patient who I would really feel bad for. I'd love the daughter, and I would throw the kitchen sink at this guy, not worrying about money, just as many cells as I could give him.
Right.
And just there would be no response. So that's when it really started to sink in. Not everybody's cells are equal. And then one day,
Very true.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're not all
we're not
built
we're
the
not the
same.
same age, even if we're the same age. You know,
Right,
That's
right.
why some people look so much healthier when they're older.
Even if you're a basketball player or you're an athlete, you just don't have those
I've had
particular
64-year-old men whose cells grow like an 18-year-old girl. But
Wow.
the story goes, I have a 7-year-old woman who happened to be the wife of my surgeon who had COPD, and I had an 18-year-old paraplegic whose cells were growing like wildfire, and the 7-year-old cells wouldn't grow. And so I started to panic because if I'm telling these people I can do this and I can't get his wives to grow, what am I going to do? So I thought, well, I know it's the paracrine effect. I know it's the growth factors, and these cells are doing fine, and all the other conditions are the same. So let me take the supernatant from these cells and put it on the older cells. The older cells started growing. So that was like the eureka moment. I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this food that I use to grow the cells, the medium, is 10 times more expensive than a regular food because it doesn't have any animal products in it. And I had been throwing it out all this time. So I immediately...
You've been just tossing
I was like, oh, geez.
prize out.
Exactly. So I immediately started holding on to it. And then there were people in Singapore and China at that time who were starting to do exosome research. So as soon as I knew that it was a basically virus-sized capsule, that I could control it because I have a PhD in biochemistry. So I was like, I can isolate this, I can sterile filter it, I can concentrate
Now
it
we're
if I want
talking.
to. And so that's where that came from. And so from that point on, I slowly started testing cell-free therapies with isolated exosomes from mesenchymal stem cells from younger and younger patients. And that's where we are today. I abandoned cells a long time ago. I filed IP for wound healing on young MSCs back in 2015.
Best decision you made?
Yeah, we'll see. Because everybody has an exosome product now, but they
Yeah.
better hope I don't get that patent. And,
That's okay, because you know what? It's going to help so many more people.
Right.
And it's through these processes where you go back and forth and you go, I just tossed out the gold over and over again.
Over and over again. When you thought how many thousands, and I didn't have that much money at that time. When you
Yeah.
thought about how much money I had thrown out, I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. You don't think about it. But it's that moment right then and there that something clicks, something changes, and then the change is made.
Yeah, it was at that moment. And then if you see the burn victim over there, that was about I figured this out in about May, and that was in October.
Wow.
So I was able to go to my freezer and just grab this product and say, use this, and that's where we got that result.
But it's the passion that you had for that 90-year-old that you were unrelenting about, and it didn't matter that you wanted to give another round and another round. And I don't care, we'll go bankrupt with this.
Right.
That's
I
what we
need
need in
to
medicine.
learn, you know, I need to learn
Right.
what's going on.
And take care of the patients that's in front of us. And it is through that genuine nature to help that you've created
That's
a
why we're all
wonderful
here.
product.
I got accepted to medical school when I was 20. It took me 8 years to go through graduate school for immunology and biochemistry. I mean, I'm here to help people.
Yeah.
Didn't spend that much time just coming up with a product.
Yeah.
You still need my fun. You still need the
We
fun
need,
of
we
being
just,
around
we
me.
actually still need you
I
on the
mean-
backside of the camera.
But you guys are boring.
We need you on the backside.
Nobody's
Spin it
talking
around.
about. Yeah, I mean, that's.
There you go.
All right, no, all of us together. Now you're confusing people. Now,
Now the party's happening.
the party-
now,
There you go.
now you have fun.
There you go.
Now you can see us. Uh-oh, no, you don't need to be. Oh my goodness.
Now we're getting dizzy.
Wow, it's
Okay, well,
There you go.
crazy
listen,
conference.
I don't have to be here. I don't have to be here.
Sorry to bore you. Jeez. I feel terrible
But
now.
what they have to say is they can help you. You don't need to know the details, but they can help you.
All right.
We will help you. Exosomes are here for you.
If she's not able to help you, I'm sending her to your house.
And here's Dr. Doug Spiel. He's trying to stay away from the camera.
He loves the camera.